Yo, what's up? You on spec, guys.
What's up guys, Pierre Andre is back. Alright, Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera pada korang yang menonton channel Andre Brothers. Korang memang awesome guys. Yes, we are back dengan kita punya video-video menarik. Apa khabar korang? Adakah korang dalam keadaan sihat? Alhamdulillah, syukur korang sihat. Aku rasa sangat senang hati guys. Okay guys, mana yang tak tahu, aku ada satu lagi channel YouTube, itu Pierre Andre Vlog. Korang boleh singgah-singgah lah kat sana, tengoklah video apa yang ada kat sana. Dan jangan lupa subscribe guys. Saja nak masukkan intro, bukan intro, nak promote channel satu lagi tu. Okay, memandangkan hari ni adalah hari yang sungguh menyenangkan. Pasal apa menyenangkan? Pasalnya video react lah guys. React video daripada Nooks Top 5. Dan yang buat hal, aku banyak kali perasan aku punya apa ni, tengok. Dia ni bukan apa guys, aku rasa ni ada masalah sikit lah, rosak aku tu. Bukan masalah kena rasuk ke apa, benda ni dah lama. So tak terkejut lah kalau tiba-tiba dia ada, tiba-tiba dia hilang kan. Dan aku notice juga ada ramai orang tanya, kenapa Abang Pia suka tengok sebelah kanan, kanan aku lah. Sikit-sikit tengok sebelah kanan, kadang-kadang tengok sebelah kiri. Okey, mungkin ada yang tak tahu, sebelah kanan aku ni ada jam kat atas. Aku suka tengok jam. Aku orang yang kena memang sikit-sikit je aku tengok jam. Aku nak tahu pukul berapa. So kalau aku tengok sebelah kiri aku ni, kadang-kadang anak aku main kat hall, kadang-kadang bini aku ada. Sebab tu kadang-kadang aku tengok jap, tengok kiri, tengok jap, tengok kanan. Kenapa? Kan aku terkejut je. Tahu-tahu je ingatkan bini aku dah bilik, rupanya dia kat depan sini. Sebab tu kadang-kadang aku macam terkejut, tengok sini kejap, nak tengok jam. So menjawablah persoalan tu ya. Okay guys, tak nak buang masa lagi, jom kita step forward untuk video react kita kali ni. Okay, jom. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera. Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. I've featured the YouTube channel Ghosts of Carmel, Maine many times on Nooks Top 5,
yes,
so I won't go through a full recap. But put simply, Kent Burris says that he lives in a very haunted house and has recorded many strange supernatural encounters in his home.
The hardest things to deal with while living in this house, and one of the most frightening encounters are in fact apparitions.
Son of a... Oh my...
One night, while sleeping, there was a loud bang in the bedroom that woke me up. I started hearing faint voices, so I picked up my cell phone camera and started recording.
One night, Kent hears voices coming from downstairs and records as he heads down to investigate. He is not prepared for what he finds waiting in the dark first floor TV room.
Son of a... What the hell are you? Honey?
As Kent walks into the pitch black room, the TV has somehow turned itself on. Now this might explain the voices, but as he pans his camera around the room, a dark shape suddenly appears right in front of the television screen. The shadow figure seems to collapse into itself as it disappears right in front of his eyes.
What the hell are you? I did not go back to sleep that night.
So did Kent capture yet another shadow apparition in his haunted house? You decide. You can watch this full documentary over on the YouTube channel, Ghosts of Carmel, Maine.
Dia boleh hilang macam tu je.
Checking out early.
Okay.
Rocky fitness trainer Mustafa from the YouTube channel Mustafa Altai says that he heard a strange story about a family who had fled their home in Iraq many years ago because a sinister jinn began haunting their home. The house has been left abandoned for over 60 years, as the family says they couldn't find anyone willing to rent or buy the cursed property. Mustafa goes to investigate the house with his friend Salar to see if the spooky stories are true, and it did not go well. As the two explorers are about to enter the house, they have no idea that something seems to be watching them.
حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل
certainly a bit hard to see, but when the video is slowed down and enhanced, a very strange figure can be seen standing at the window. Now, it's unclear exactly what this bizarre shape could be, but when Mustafa's camera pans back, the dark figure has disappeared. After the two explorers enter the house, things only get weirder. The two friends hear strange sounds coming from the staircase. They go to investigate, and this happens.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. ما في طبقة ثاني دائما خاف منه. دائما يا أخي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. اقرأ آيات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله.
Astaghfirullahaladzim. Hoi. Kau ngajaknya tu.
بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء. بسم الله. لا لا تعال 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 بس تعال سلام تعال. مو لا هسه يقوم احد بس تعال وياي تعال وياي. بدي اعتمك تعال وياي. وهسه يقوم احد والله يقوم صديق سوا بس تعال على فوق سلام.
Kawan dia lari guys.
بس تعال بدي اعتمك. يا اخي حلفتك. سلام. حلفتك بدي اعتمك تعال.
An empty paint bucket is thrown from somewhere above them, barely missing the two explorers. Mustafa runs upstairs to see where it came from, but his friend Salar heads for the exit. Eventually, Mustafa convinces Salar to come back, but after hearing more scary, unexplained sounds, they both decide to leave. Mustafa uploads his video to YouTube, and many of his viewers want to see more. In the video comments, his fans dare him to go back and actually spend the night in the haunted house. So, Mustafa agrees.
Guys,
Returns to the house, determined to stay the night.
dia kena
This time,
cabar guys.
all alone. Mustafa sets up a few static cameras in one of the rooms and attempts to settle in for the night. But before long, Mustafa's night takes a terrifying turn.
Oh, kali ni dia nak tidur kat rumah ni guys. Ni dia pergi kali kedua. Macam ada bunyi tau.
Strange moans and loud bangs keep Mustafa on edge and unable to rest. But little does he know, things are about to get even creepier.
Ada bunyi kan tadi? Kalau aku dah gerak guys. Atas dia guys.
A heavy piece of stone sitting on top of the fireplace seems to move on its own. Then, as if propelled by an invisible force, it violently crashes to the ground, nearly landing on Mustafa's head. Understandably, Mustafa is now freaked out. He's only been inside the house a little over an hour, but he decides to put an early end to his overnight investigation. But now here's where things get really creepy. Because the most terrifying part of Mustafa's stay inside the house isn't even what he saw or heard with his own eyes and ears. You see, his static cameras caught video of something strange that he wasn't even aware of. Something downright chilling.
Apa benda lah? Kenapa bulu roma aku meremang guys?
As Mustafa is repositioning his static camera, a dark figure appears behind him on the staircase. It slowly moves down the stairs without making a sound, and then disappears out of sight.
Iyalah, dia turun
But
tangga
this
guys.
isn't the only time Mustafa captured this creepy figure during his nighttime stay. Again, a dark, very bizarre figure quickly appears behind Mustafa, not once, but twice.
Uish.
Could it be that he captured the jinn that haunts
Ew.
the home on camera? Whatever it is, it seems to change shape, size, and even transparency. So just what is this? Let me know what you think. You can check out Mustafa's full 2-part video investigation of the house over on his YouTube channel, Mustafa Altai. If you see a video that you think would be perfect for the top 5, or if you have a ghost hunting channel and you caught something great, contact me at nukestop5@gmail.com. The Haunted Ain't...
Okay guys, ada dua video yang kita tengok tadi. Yang pertama tu video pertama tu dah banyak kali Nooks Top 5 react dia punya, bukan react, share dia punya video. Memang video yang pertama tu memang seram guys. Pasal apa? Banyak penampakan yang menakutkan yang selalunya kita nampak pada dalam bilik tau, yang dekat tingkap. Kali ni dia datang dekat depan TV guys. Memang something yang aku pun tak jangka, tiba-tiba kat depan TV. Dan yang pelik tu, dia hilang tu macam berterabur macam tu. Itu scary. Tapi yang nombor 2 ni pada aku lebih menyeramkan. Pasal apa? Kalau melibatkan ghost hunter pada Arab ni, tak tahu guys, memang meremang dia lain macam sikit. Dan kalau kau dengar dia orang pun cakap kalau daripada Arab ni mesti dia akan cakap jin tau. So orang Arab kan macam kita juga faham sangat benda ni, makhluk ni sebenarnya adalah permainan jin. Sebab tu kita selalu gelarkan benda ni yang benda gaib ni, yang menyerupai hantu ni semua adalah jin lah guys. Yang buat aku terkejut tu, yang pertama, si hantu ni, si jin ni, dia boleh pula campak apa baldi, apa bukan baldi lah, yang macam tongcat tu. Itu memang aku terkejut guys. Tapi yang lebih menyeramkan daripada tu adalah penampakan bayangan hitam. Sebenarnya dia bukan bayangan hitam. Aku rasa itulah sebenarnya rupa bentuk JIN ni lah, yang ketika dia bergerak macam mana. Sebab dia nampak macam seolah-olah terawang-awangan tapi dia berwarna hitam. Dan memang sesuatu yang aku rasa sangat-sangat menyeramkan kalau kita dapat lihat dengan mata kasar kita. Tapi walau macam mana pun, video tadi tu memang something yang aku rasa boleh buat aku tak tidur malam lah guys. Kalau korang aku tak tahulah, korang komen kat bawah aku nak tahu pendapat korang. So kita go next video, okay?
Ancient Ram Inn. With a past as dark as the Ancient Ram Inn, it's not surprising that it is said to be the most haunted building in all of England. The mysterious inn was built way back in the year 1145 on top of a pagan burial ground, and it served as the home to slaves, masons, and workers. In the 1500s, a woman hid out in the building before she was captured and burned as a witch. Years later, the innkeeper's daughter is said to have hung herself in the attic. And as if all that wasn't creepy enough, the decaying remains of sacrificed children were found buried under the inn's floor. The Ancient Ram Inn is said to be so violently haunted that when the building was sold to John Humphreys in 1968, his wife and daughters absolutely refused to live there. They moved out, leaving John Humphreys all alone to live in the house. So, British paranormal investigators Sean Kenna, Sean Owen, and Carl Hassel from the YouTube channel Dark Territory traveled to the haunted inn to investigate the multiple claims of paranormal activity. During their investigation, they hear bizarre, unexplained sounds, and Sean feels something touching his leg.
Already, as soon as we were about to begin filming the investigation, something draws our attention upstairs. Sounded like you rolled a barrel, or did you work at the inn?
Dude, upstairs.
Go. Yeah, I just heard what sounded like movement up here. Is this where you are? Are you the witch? They call this room the witch's room. So we only assume that you, the witch, you're felt in here.
Did anyone hear the voice a second ago? Before you said you're felt in here?
Nah. Witch, you're felt in here. Witch, you're felt in here.
Macam ada suara
I don't know if it's a voice or it was like a cat.
Yeah. Did you used to sleep in this bed, witch?
This is
Fell something on my leg, man. Someone was on.
Jesus Christ, bro!
Touch me leg.
Later, as Sean Kenna and Sean Owen are exploring on the second floor, things get even stranger.
What little room are you hiding in? Come on, show yourself. Sure you're not afraid of me and Owen?
pintu dah start buka, guys.
The door to the attic opens on its own and the team can't find any explanation for the strange occurrence. There was no draft, and the team had been walking back and forth past the door many times without it making any movement whatsoever. Now, since it has always been said that dark spirits and entities supposedly, quote, feed off fear, the team decides to do an experiment to see if the emotion of fear will trigger even more paranormal activity. So they tie up and blindfold team member Carl and put him in one of the beds in the bishop's room. This room is said to be the most supernaturally active. At first, nothing really happens, and as time passes, Carl seems to grow more and more impatient. But then, things take a terrifying turn.
Touch me leg. Touch my leg, bro.
Something's up, man.
You around me now? You make a sound. What the was that, bro?
What, man?
Something's just fallen off here. Who's that? Touch me, man! What the Something's wrong with Carl. He's always...
Holy shit, man.
We need to get me the out of here now. Jump.
Dia gerak ni, guys. Dia tak tunggu kawan dia dah.
Seriously, someone just whacked me, no joke. I heard something being thrown or something. And I was like, come on, and then someone just whacked me, no joke, as if someone just punched my chest. Me.
Carl begins to freak out as he feels something touching his leg. A candle then falls onto the floor. But scariest of all, something unseen slaps Carl on the chest.
Oh,
The
dia kena
violent smack is actually loud enough that the audio can be heard on camera.
dia kena lempang kat badan dia, guys. Weh, dengar bunyi, guys.
Carl is done. In abject terror, he frantically struggles his way out of the rope binding his legs and wrists. So did the paranormal investigators capture proof of the sinister ghosts that haunt the ancient Ram Inn? Let me know what you think. You can watch this full video and many more investigations of haunted English locations over on the YouTube channel, Dark Territory. The House of the Burned Man. Popular Mexican paranormal investigator Alberto Del Arco travels to a mansion in Manzanillo, Mexico. The massive hillside estate has been mysteriously abandoned for over 35 years, and it looks more like a hotel than a home. It features a pool, a spa area, and an amazing view of the
Sayang
ocean.
rumah macam tu tinggal.
So, no one really knows why such a luxurious home would be abandoned for over 3 decades. However, urban legend says that one of the home's previous tenants perished in a mysterious fire inside the house. Because of this, locals refer to the estate as the, quote, House of the Burned Man. The entire property is said to be extremely haunted. Once Alberto and his 2 cameramen make their way inside, they find the home's design a bit confusing.
Todavía no le encuentro la forma de esta casa. Aquí está cerrado, aquí ya no hay más. No, todavía existe. Atrás, atrás.
Ada dengar macam jerit guys.
¿Algún ave? Ok, pero eso vino de este lado. ¿Se oyó claro? Madres. ¿Fuiste tú ahorita que pisaste? ¿O no? ¿Sí? Se oyó muy hueco, cuidado, sí retumbó todo. No se nos vaya a caer encima parte de esta propiedad, porque sí se ve que está muy dañada. Mira, ven. Mira a ver esto.
Oh.
¿Estás bien? Sí.
Kelawar ni guys.
Se me estrella en la cara, güey, ¿lo viste? Sí.
While exploring the strangely constructed mansion, the team hears what sounds like a child's voice, followed by the sound of a breath. Even though the unexplained sounds are barely picked up by their microphones, the three explorers all seem to hear it very clearly. Next, Alberto has a frightening close encounter with a bat. And after that, the team just decides to continue their investigation outside as they check out the other buildings on the sprawling estate.
Hola. No sé, güey, como que arrastraron algo. Buenas noches. No creo que haya indigentes viviendo aquí, la verdad. Uy, está enorme este lugar. Atrás, aquí. Eso fue aquí. Con cuidado. Puede haber animales,
Alberto and his team hear strange sounds coming from inside some of the buildings. It sounds almost like something heavy being dragged across the floor. Since the hillside the mansion sits on is almost impossible to access, Alberto thinks it would be unlikely that any homeless people could be living there. Instead, he believes that all of the sounds that he is hearing could simply be made by animals. But even though Alberto is very skeptical, what happens next is not so easy to explain.
¿Qué pasó, güey? ¿Qué pasó? Ay, güey, a mí se me hizo ver a alguien acá. ¿Allá? ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde? ¿No habrá sido una sombra? ¿No habrá sido algún árbol? ¿Alguna rama? ¿Lo habrá trabado o no? ¿Sí? Ok, habrá que revisar ese material.
Alberto's cameraman captures what appears to be a white translucent figure on camera. A little later into their investigation, and they capture something again.
Hay más escaleras que dan hacia abajo, Cuidado. Mucho murciélago. ¿Todo bien? ¿Qué hay allá? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Todo bien? ¿Dónde? ¡Oh, hijo de tu ¿Dónde, güey? ¿No salen los murciélagos? Huele muy mal.
Labau busuk tu something wrong guys.
Bats come flying out towards the cameraman, but it's not a bat that spooks him. A bizarrely shaped shadow seems to be staring back at him from just inside one of the rooms. They go to check it out, but there's nothing there. The figure has vanished, leaving nothing behind but a very foul stench. Before long, the echoing sound of a raging party being celebrated somewhere nearby starts to make it impossible for them to capture clear, uninterrupted audio. Alberto and his team have no choice but to wrap up their investigation. However, right before they leave, they capture something truly chilling.
Ok. Cuidado. Ok, ¿les parece si bajamos? Digo, aquí no hay más que nada.
Apa tu guys? Aku tak nampak.
No está tan espectacular como la de arriba quizá. Pero se me hace curioso que esté este piso, ¿no?
At the time they recorded this, the team says that they were completely unaware that someone or something seemed to be watching them from the tree line. They catch an unexplained figure on camera, just barely visible in the dark. So, did Alberto Del Arco and his two cameramen capture evidence
yang
of
ni scary
paranormal
guys.
activity
Yang
at the
nampak macam
mansion?
lembaga putih tu.
Possible that the ghost of the burned man who the house is named after was
Ini baru nampak
watching
dekat
them.
guys.
Let me know what you think.
Ish.
Watch this full video over on the YouTube channel, Alberto Del Arco. Just passing through.
Yang tadi tu
Paranormal
macam monyet
investigators
pun ada
beyond
guys.
the realm paranormal investigate the Alton Railway Station in Staffordshire, England. The old train station was built in 1849 and it was eventually closed down in 1965. So, after over 100 years of travelers and workers passing through the station, it is now believed to be extremely haunted by the ghosts of deceased passengers and railway workers. The 5 investigators set up motion detectors on the platform close to what used to be the railway track. They start recording, and what they capture is truly bizarre.
So that's just Nick setting off the motion detector. It only goes off when something walks in front of it. There you go. Straight after his phology.
I'm going to do it one more time for you. I want you to follow me exactly where I come from. The Alton Bridge over time. Remember?
What did he do there? No!
When lead investigator Nick walks back and forth setting off the motion detector, something seems to follow him. Then suddenly a super fast moving white mist seems to pass right through him, knocking him a step back.
What did he do there? No!
What's especially creepy is that Nick seems to both see and react to the mist as it passes right through his body. So did they capture real evidence of the paranormal? Could it be the ghost of a wary traveler still running to catch a long-departed train? You decide. Check out this full video and more paranormal investigations over on their Facebook and YouTube channel, Beyond the Realm Paranormal. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and also maybe check out my other videos. I'll see you next week.
Okay guys, itu dia kita punya video daripada Nook's Top 5. Memang Nook's Top 5 tak pernah menghampakan dengan dia punya video-video yang seram guys. Yang kalau kita tengok tadi, yang last dengan second last tu agak menyeramkan guys. Yang apa, Ghost Hunter Mexico tu, dia pergi ke satu, bukan istana lah, tapi rumah agam lah, rumah yang betul besar yang telah ditinggalkan hampir 30 tahun. Rumah tu dipanggil rumah lelaki yang terbakar katanya. Tapi yang buat aku seram tu tempat tu, pertama adalah memang tempat-tempat yang dah ditinggalkan terlalu lama. Of course akan ada sesuatu yang tinggal kat situ lah. Kita nampak ada penampakan satu image macam lembaga putih, macam perempuan, macam dia berjalan tau. Itu memang scary guys. Selepas tu yang dalam hutan masa dia nak balik tu, aku pun tak nampak sangat, tapi bila dia besarkan image tu, nampak semacam monyet hitam, legam dan besar dia macam orang. Kalau Indonesia panggil apa? Gondoro something yang macam tu lah. Memang seram lah guys. Yang tu pada aku yang tu seram lah, compare tu yang kereta api tu. Yang last tu kereta api tu seram juga, tapi aku lagi seram yang Mexico tu. Yang kereta api tu katanya itu adalah stesen kereta api yang telah lama tak dipakai lah. Zaman-zaman dulu pakai, masa zaman kereta api yang pakai apa, tenaga warp tu kan. Bila dah ditutup sekitar tahun 1960-an, lepas tu tak dipakai lagi dan tempat tu dikatakan berhantu lah. So Ghost Hunter ni dia pergi ke sana dan kita nampak satu image, ada lintasan lembaga putih kan, sampai laki tu pun macam terkejut nak terjatuh kan. So agak seram juga guys. And kalau nak compare daripada awal sampai yang last tu, aku rasa yang paling seram yang Pak Arab tu punya, yang Mustafa tu kan. Itu meremang bulu aku guys. So guys, aku rasa video kali ni sampai dekat sini saja. Mana dah tengok sampai habis, aku ucapkan jutaan terima kasih guys. Aku doakan supaya korang panjang umur, murah rezeki dan dipermudahkan segala urusan dunia dan akhirat. Sehingga kita jumpa untuk kita punya next video. Korang jaga diri baik-baik, stay safe, stay cool. Guys, korang memang awesome. Ciao.